Hey guys, welcome into this segment from our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. In order to get the full podcast, go down to the description, go to Blog Talk Radio / The Onside Kick to download the full thing. Enjoy, everybody. But now let's move on into our third segment, Mark, here on The Onside Kick, and we are going to move from Mike Williams to the rest of the podcast. We're just going to focus on the AFC South. You guys are great, okay with that, right? The AFC South, we're going to look at the Colts first, then end the podcast with the Tennessee Titans, kind of a little team we already talked about, but whatever. Maybe we spent 3/4 of this podcast in the South. But the thing about the Colts, and the reason why we're bringing up this draft topic today, is because the Colts fire their GM, players rejoice. Instead of saying, hey, who are they going to bring in for a GM, I'm basically, Mark, putting you into the shoes. Congratulations. Everyone give Mark a round of applause.
Thank you.
He is now the new GM of the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Irsay just giving us the little phone call here on the MVP hotline. But Mark, I'm going to ask you this question.
Yep.
Who are you taking at number 15?
Well, this is interesting because you have some obvious needs here. You got to help Andrew Luck out. You got to
that's the big one.
You got to build a defense too. You know, these are two important keys to future success for the Colts. So how do you do that? Well, when you're going to help Andrew Luck out, that means two things to me. That means either I'm keeping him on his feet or I'm giving the ball to a running back so that way, you know, it's a little bit more balanced. Running back position and the Colts, it's been a little bit, right? It's been a little bit since they've had one of those. So I know a lot of people are going to say linebacker. You got to go linebacker. That's what we really need here in Indianapolis.
That's who Mel Kiper's got him going with.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Takaris McKinney.
But I'm hoping...
Or McKinley.
I'm hoping that Dalvin Cook is not off the board.
He's the one I want. He's the one I want either to go to the Packers or the Colts.
Exactly. If I'm the Colts, I'm hoping he is not off the board. And, of course, using Mel Kiper, his draft, he's not going to be there. So you kind of look to some linemen, maybe a tackle, maybe a guard.
Or... let me throw this out there. It's been kind of my theme of the podcast. Do you trade back, accumulate picks, get a first to take Christian McCaffrey? Do you trade back, accumulate picks, get another first in return for yours so that you can take Christian McCaffrey later in the draft?
You could. You certainly could.
Question is finding that trade part. Finding that old dance partner to do the trade with.
And it's an interesting spot in the draft, too, though, because it'll be one of those things where you can't expect this beforehand. Whether it's 14, whether it's 15, we'll find out after the coin flip.
Weren't the Broncos around this area when they traded up for Shane Ray? Were they the ones that traded up for Shane Ray?
Yeah, they did. I don't remember exactly where it was at.
No, I'm going to double check that, but you keep giving me your opinion.
So depending on the coin flip, they'll either be at 14 or 15. So it's an interesting spot where you can't predict that you can really get this trade partner. It's one of those things of, hey, this guy surprisingly has fallen back. Let's go grab somebody. That'll be something that you might be able to do. If I'm the Colts, though, it's all, as much as those linebacker positions might be good, I mean, hell, it'd be nice to have a guy like Tim Williams on this team, wouldn't it? But I just need to have somebody that can take the pressure off of Andrew Luck.
It was 23rd overall was what Shane Ray was drafted at.
Okay, so definitely a little earlier than that. But yeah, it's just one of these things where I need to do something to help out Andrew Luck. I really would love to get one of these competent running backs so I have a run game. That's when Peyton Manning was able to be successful. That's when he was at his best in Indianapolis. Well, you win a Super Bowl.
When they had Edgerrin James, when they had Joseph Adai. Like, these aren't guys that were... I mean, maybe Edgerrin James was probably the most popular one, but these weren't guys where it's like they're the goats of all... They're the goats at the running back position. I mean, it does help when you have Marvin Harrison on the outside as well.
But they were definitely one of the best playing the game in their time.
And Reggie Wayne in the later years.
But Reggie Wayne, obviously not a running back.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about it helps those running backs that you have, those wide receiver weapons as well.
So what you really need for me in the Colts is exactly that. I want a running back. You know, they've been trying to get somebody for a while, and they've had some ideas of like, here's some decent play in the running back position, but you're not getting anything great. As much as I like Frank Gore is old. Frank Gore is not going to last. You gotta find something going next.
And here's the thing: the tricky thing about the running back position, and of course, all of these projected rounds are going to be changing as we get closer to the draft. But I think we can all agree there are 3 running backs that for sure, 2 we know for sure. McCaffrey's that third one. It's Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, and Christian McCaffrey are the ones where we're like, those are first-round grades. Like McCaffrey could be one where I fell into the second, but he's a first-round grade in the early second round. I look at other running backs, and these aren't in no particular order, but like Joe Mixon. You have P. Ryan from Oklahoma, Gallman from Clemson. We got Deonta Foreman from Texas, Corey Clement, who, if you want to hear Brandon talk about him in our Senior Bowl discussion on the Primetime Podcast, go check that out. James Conner from Pitt. We've got Donnell Pumphrey from San Diego State. There are guys that later in this draft you can go get. The only question is, like, guys, if you're asking me, Ricky, if you're going to take, besides throw Fournette and McCaffrey out, if you're going to say pick Dalvin Cook or the field, I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook. Let's not get anything twisted. But I'm saying if Dalvin Cook's off the board and you think it might be a little bit too early to go for a Christian McCaffrey, maybe you can go for a Joe Mixon, a P. Ryan, a Gallman, a Foreman later, maybe in the second, the third, maybe even the fourth, to try to get that running back.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing because Dalvin Cook, there's a great chance he is off the board by the time the Colts pick. And it probably will be too early to take McCaffrey. And if you trade back, fantastic. She's thrilled about that.
I think McCaffrey's got... I don't know if it's a perfect fit, but I think where he could fall in the draft, I think he's got Green Bay written all over him, maybe. You can
I don't know. It depends what they want to do with Montgomery now.
You could put Ty Montgomery back at wide receiver. Maybe have him.
He wanted his number changed.
I would probably go Christian McCaffrey over, or have both of them. Fuck it, Montgomery and Christian McCaffrey in that backfield.
Do you really need that with Eddie Lacy too, though? It's a lot of running backs. A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Push Eddie Lacy out of town. He becomes a third stringer, man.
He was good not that long ago.
It's one of those things where, is it perfect? No, but a running back who can also play receiver and be a receiver could help Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But my point is, for the Colts, they might not, if Dalvin Cook's even there, they might not even have to go with him at 15. Will he be there? Probably not. I got him. The Cleveland Browns at 12 is the Dalvin Cook pick for me.
Yeah, I just think that would be great. If you don't get it, and it's too early to take McCaffrey, sure. We can go with Tim Williams. We can get that linebacker, that guy who's going to be a pass rush. We can get that. That'll be fine. That'll be great. You're not upset about it. But the dream scenario for me for the Colts is get that great running back. That would be great because Andrew Luck needs help. You're never going to win with this guy if you can't get some supporting cast around him.
See, and that's the big argument with the Colts is, because I heard the Herd mention it today because he was talking about the GM job, and he says how it's the job for whoever comes in is one of the easiest jobs. And he was talking about just draft defense. All you got to do is draft defense. And I'm sitting there going, or do you draft Andrew Luck some help? Get him either running back or even offensive tackle help. Because there's a guy that, depending on how his stock rises, it could fall, but rises during the draft process. It could start this weekend if he has a big Senior Bowl, is Zach Banner, the offensive tackle from USC. He's a big body that you can put in there on the line and help Andrew Luck out tremendously just from having him on the line.
I'd rather have a guy like Ryan Ramczyk. That'd be what I'd rather have.
What if Ramczyk's off the board already?
He might be, but and in Kuiper's draft, he doesn't have him going. I have him going early.
Yeah, I had
personally.
him. I think I had him. Let me look at mine really quick because all this is good. I don't know if I've mentioned this podcast, so I'll throw it out in this segment. Next Wednesday, either Wednesday or Thursday, after the Pro Bowl, before the Super Bowl, that's when my 2.0 is going to come out. So check out the channel. Check out mostvaluablepodcast.com. Either Tuesday or Wednesday is when my 2.0 is going to come out. The week of the 21st, I believe, is when we're shooting for Mark's 2.0 to release. And my 1.0, which was a lot further, the Colts had the 13th pick. I had him going with Ramczyk. I am going with Ryan Ramczyk out of Wisconsin. So I did have him going offensive line.
Yeah.
But the thing I do want to mention, it's because Mel Kiper has this guy going a pick later to the Ravens. At 15, do you think there's any situation where the Colts and their new GM look at it and go, we could go pass rusher. We could go with an offensive guy to help out Andrew Luck. But do we take a stab on a guy who had top 5 talent? Everyone had him in his top 5 before the injury that he had before the Orange Bowl. And do they say, fuck it, we're going to take Jabril Peppers in the first. We're going to go BPA. BPA on our board it would have to be.
Yeah, but I don't know. The more and more talk, the more and more we get into the draft, it seems everybody's a little bit down on Peppers.
Because he's listed as a safety, but let's be honest, he's that safety linebacker hybrid. He's not a true pass rusher, but he's that safety hybrid, safety linebacker hybrid. There could be a situation where they say, fuck it, you know what?
For a new GM, though, I don't know if you go risky.
Take the sure pick is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Take the sure pick. But to me, the Colts, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because this was a team 2 years ago I had penciled in for. I can't remember if I had them winning or losing. I think I had them winning over the Dallas Cowboys because I don't know why I would have the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl. But 2 years ago, I had them penciled in the Super Bowl. And then Andrew Luck got injured. This year didn't have them. I had them actually, yeah, I did. I didn't have them anywhere near a Super Bowl, but I had them, 13-3 overall? Yeah, that was probably the worst thing. And their schedule to me looks so easy this year, and they just couldn't get it done. And, I mean, the new GM is going to help, but the big question is, and I think even after talking for, what have we been talking for, about 12 minutes now, 11, 12 minutes, I still don't know. Like me, I'm in my head going back and forth. Well, defense, offensive tackle, running back, defense, offensive, like you could go any of those three, and I'd be happy if I'm a Colts fan.
Yeah.
I'd be totally happy. But is there any last things that you think we need to mention with the Colts before we move on into the Titans?
Just get Andrew Luck help and get it sooner rather than later. You're wasting time.
Well, and this is where you guys come in. Let us know if you're on YouTube down in the comment section what you guys think. If you're on Blog Talk Radio or iTunes or Stitcher, let us know on Twitter at Mark Weber, at Ricky Widmer, at Most Valuable Pod. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment from the Onside Kick. If you think the fun stops there, you're wrong, because click the video right over here. What are you thinking? Come on. Click it. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. Bye, everybody.